From Unai Emery. This is what he had to say before the game when he was asked the question why Martinez was not in the squad.
Bizot. Marco Bizot.
Where is Emi Martínez, though?
Marco Bizot.
Will he be your future goalkeeper?
Marco Bizot.
I've not seen that. So, 2 words, Mark. Marco Bizot.
Marco Bizot.
Where are we with Emiliano Martinez then? Because it looks pretty significant that he's not involved at all tonight.
Marco Bizot. Marco Bizot. Now you've had your questions. Thank you very much. Yeah.
He was nabbing me then. I was wondering what's happening here.
You know, it amuses me when I see that kind of a situation. Juliet Farrington just trying to ask the questions that the Aston Villa fans want the answers to. This is a goalkeeper they've had a huge relationship with, who's been a big part of their success. He's had huge personal success as well in the game over the last few years. There's been all this speculation throughout the course of the summer. Is he going to Manchester United? Is he moving on? Is he going to be Villa's number one? And we're just trying to find out the answers for the fans. And we want to know what's going to happen. The fact that he's not involved with this Aston Villa side would suggest there is a possibility he could be heading to Old Trafford. We know that Manchester United are in the market for a goalkeeper. There's been a couple of names on their radar. What happens over the next 24 hours or so, we don't know. But I think it's very clear that Unai Emery has a new number one at Aston Villa and that there is a chance that Emi Martínez ends up at Old Trafford.
Just on the goalkeeping situation at Manchester United, we are told that internal discussions at Manchester United over their next steps with regard to signing a goalkeeper are continuing. You mentioned the other option that they have. His name, Sanne Lammens, is from Royal Antwerp. Aston Villa, we think that they made an inquiry yesterday, but they haven't pursued it. And Emiliano Martinez, of course, is another player who United are interested in. We are told that both keepers are keen on a move to Old Trafford. Martinez has had other offers, but it's thought he is waiting on Manchester United. Now, one source has also told us that United have explored the conditions of a deal for Martinez while talks continue with Royal Antwerp over Lammens. So it's a case of trying to keep both pots boiling and then deciding which one they are going to go for, Manchester United, because Galatasaray also pushing for Sanne Lammens as well. And United, as they have been practicing throughout this transfer window, they do not want to get embroiled into a bidding war. Both potential deals are, however, thought to be complicated. And so, given the time left in the window, there is still a chance, Asmir, that United won't sign a keeper before the deadline. If they do, and you were holding the purse strings at Manchester United, you were in the recruitment team at Manchester United, who would you go for, Martinez or Lammens?
Yeah, I think you have to go for Emi Martínez. I think they've had, a few issues in trying to replace David De Gea for quite some time now. They've tried different goalkeepers, different situations, and really gone for goalkeepers who are improving in the Premier League. So I think if you get the chance to sign an Emi Martínez, who's Premier League proven, been here for many years, played so many games at a high level, done incredibly well for Argentina, I think it would be that statement signing in that position that they really need. And I think he's one that can be there for the next few years and hopefully provide some stability, because it hasn't quite worked out for the goalkeepers that have come over the last few years.
Yeah, let's get to one of the stories that you have been following, Gianluca, and that is, of course, Rasmus Højlund. You've been following him around very closely, haven't you, and his move to Napoli. Tell us where we are exactly as it stands right now with that deal.
Rasmus Højlund is in Napoli now, so he had medicals this morning in Roma because Napoli has always and usually his medicals players in Roma, and now the clubs and the agents of the player are finalizing all the terms of his contract, because there is an exit clause of, I think, 85 million euro too. So there are legal legal questions, legal issues to solve, but I think everything will be done in these next hours. Antonio Conte wanted him a lot. Antonio Conte wanted Højlund after Lukaku was injured, and you know that Antonio Conte, after he won the title last year, now he has big power in Naples, and when Antonio Conte wants a player, the chairman Aurelio De Laurentiis try to satisfy him.
Gianluca, it's Mark in the studio with Danish. Ciao to you as well. Rasmus Højlund is yet another player going from the Premier League to Napoli. What is it about these Premier League players that Antonio Conte loves so much?
But Antonio Conte loves Premier League players because he was in Premier League, so he knows that the intensity, of the players, the rhythm of the players of Premier League are perfect for his style. So McTominay was a perfect top player last year, and Kevin De Bruyne now is starting to adapt to Italian style. So I think that Antonio Conte knows that, and Napoli too, that after McTominay, every Premier League player is perfect for Napoli now.
Jadon Sancho is a player who still hasn't got a move, but there has been a lot of interest from Italy in this window. Is that one maybe that could still happen from the Premier League to Serie A tomorrow?
Don't think so, but because he was not really convinced to come here. I don't know why, because Italy is fantastic. But Juventus at the beginning of the transfer market, they want him, but they had to sell players. Now they are selling Nico Gonzalez to Atletico Madrid, but they found the agreement for Zegrova, from Lille, that is coming to Juventus. So Juventus, no. AS Roma was the club that you know better than me. They tried to push. Gasperini wanted. They had 2 video call with Sancho and his agent. They had the agreement with Manchester United, but the player didn't open. As we say, in the 2 video call, he never saw the coach in his eyes. He only was like that during the call, so probably he didn't want to come.
Gianluca, before I let you go, we always like talking to you about how much money the Premier League have spent compared to Serie A. I know you enjoy this. It's nearly £3 billion. That's even more in euros that the Premier League have spent so far in this transfer window. What is the feeling in Italy about how much clubs in England can spend compared to Italy and the rest of Europe? And is it a surprise?
The feeling is that there is too much difference from me and you, because we only can get now players that are not so young, like Modric, like Kevin De Bruyne, like Jamie Vardy, like Raul Albiol, like players like that. It's difficult for us to compete. For example, Leoni, the younger defender that Liverpool bought from Parma. Here in Italy, AC Milan wanted him, Inter Milan wanted him, Juventus wanted him. Arrived Liverpool, 35 million. Okay, done. So you are too strong, and it's difficult for us to compete. I think the job will be very, very difficult in the next years, and very long to try to compete with you. But in the field, we'll try in the pitch to do better.
They've clearly got a bit of an issue in terms of whether there's a market for André Onana. It doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. You never know before the deadline. Maybe more plausible, you could move on Alti Bayındır. But he's playing at the moment. So, yeah, it's plausible one more comes in, and that will give them an excess of goalkeepers. But they do clearly have the issue of the Africa Cup of Nations on the horizon, and they want to upgrade in that area. That's been long understood. And so Senna Lammens of Royal Antwerp is a player they've looked at and they have an interest in. I don't think the situation has ever been as advanced as some have suggested, but let's see what develops on that front. And then, of course, there are continued reports around Emi Martínez, who they made a loan inquiry for earlier in the window. It didn't develop then. Let's see if it does now. Villa, the suggestion from them until this point has been they expect Emi Martínez to stay, despite what we saw from him at the end of last season in that very emotional scene on the pitch that looked like a departure was coming. So yeah, there could be a bit of activity in that area for Man United. The midfield is of interest, whether there could be a last-minute loan or they stick with their current options. So United are one, of course, to keep an eye on.
The transfer window is heating up with two major stories grabbing headlines. Aston Villa's goalkeeper Emi Martínez was surprisingly absent from the squad in their clash against Crystal Palace. Manager Unai Emery avoided direct answers, only repeating the name of Villa's new keeper, Marco Bizot, fueling rumors that Martinez is edging closer to a sensational move to Manchester United. United are desperate to solve their goalkeeping crisis after shaky performances from André Onana, and reports suggest Martinez may have already agreed personal terms. Meanwhile, striker Rasmus Højlund looks set to leave Old Trafford after struggling for minutes under Rúben Amorim. The Danish forward has traveled to Italy for a medical with Napoli, with the deal structured as a loan that could become permanent if Napoli secure Champions League football. These moves highlight a dramatic summer of change at Old Trafford as United reshape their squad.